Easter greetings to you on this Tuesday afternoon in the first week of the Easter season. The Gospel of John tells us that early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and she saw that the stone was rolled away. It was not sealing the tomb any longer. So she was terrified. She thought someone had taken Jesus' body. She ran back to tell Peter and John that the stone was rolled away. She didn't know what had happened. And they raced each other to get back to that tomb and to look. And after looking inside and seeing that the tomb was empty, and where Jesus had been laid, his garments were, the head cloth was folded up, rolled up, and the rest of the cloth was over in a bunch on the table where he had laid. They didn't know what to think, and they were frightened, and they ran back to the place where they had been. But Mary Magdalene stayed. She was so sorrowful and so afraid at the same time. She went and looked into the tomb again and saw two angels sitting on each side, one where Jesus' head had been laid and one where his body had been, where his feet were. They asked her why she was weeping, which in a way was a little bit of a silly question, but she said, "They've taken my Lord, and I don't know where they've taken him." And suddenly, someone appears behind her. She turns around, and this man asks her, who she doesn't recognize, "Who are you looking for?" She tells him, "I'm looking for Jesus, who they crucified, but he is not here. Tell me where he is, and I will go and get him and take care of his body." She thinks that Jesus is a gardener. But suddenly Jesus says her name, Mary, Mary. And all of a sudden, hearing her name, she recognizes the Lord, and she falls to her knees and calls out, "Teacher, Rabboni." He tells her to go and tell the others that he is alive. Suddenly, her sorrow has been turned into great joy, and Mary Magdalene becomes the first evangelist, the first bearer of the great good news of the resurrection, that Jesus Christ had risen from the dead. Just think what that means, that even in times of great sorrow and distress, God still shows up. God is still with us. God has never left us. God is always with us. The psalmist wrote, "You have turned for me my mourning, my sadness, into dancing. You have put off my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness." That certainly was the case for Mary Magdalene that day, and all of Jesus' followers as they began to see him and to know that he truly was risen. No matter what happens, we have good news because Christ is risen and is with us. Today, I want you to close your eyes and to imagine being there, feeling all the things you're feeling right now, and then suddenly seeing Jesus and hearing him call your name. How does that feel to you? Does it turn your mourning into dancing? Keep doing what you're doing, my friends. Washing your hands, wearing masks, practicing social distancing for a little while, for he will turn our sorrow into gladness. I'll see you tomorrow.